Well, after crossing the 1 lakh mark on Monday, the country has recorded close to 97,000 cases. This includes 446 deaths in the last 24 hours. These are the latest updated COVID figures as on 6th of April. The worrying trend continues. We're continuing to see a spike in the cases. In fact, the health minister is going to be meeting his state counterparts later today. The prime minister also later this week is going to be holding a meeting with chief ministers because the number of cases that we have seen in the past week, there is this continuing trend of a surge. Okay, we're going to bring you updates from some of the main states. Maharashtra continuing to be an area of concern, 47,000 new COVID cases. Sandhya joins us live. Sandhya is actually from at the Andheri railway station, an area which would be extremely busy at this time. Sandhya, what's the situation like there, especially after the Maharashtra government's new curbs?
So, Ati, two things. First, the peak time has actually passed. So, comparatively, the crowd, we will be expecting it to be less. But right now, let me show you how it looks like from one of the bridge. So, comparatively, as I said, as the peak time has crossed, so the crowd is less as compared to what it was a couple of hours ago. But again, one thing, ideally, with the restrictions which are there in place, even these many people at the same time shouldn't have been at the railway station, Aarti, because private offices have been asked to remain closed. Even government offices have to work with a capacity of only 50%. Those who do not have a necessary requirement, they are not supposed to step outside their house. So, despite all these restrictions in place, there are people out there. And as I said, it's almost 11 a.m. So, usually in Mumbai, by this time, the peak crowd anyway decreases. But Andheri station still has people, and talking about restrictions, despite the fact that there's a new list of restrictions with government offices having to work with a capacity of only 50%, private offices with some exceptions to remain closed. But that has not really affected the crowd at Andheri station. In fact, during peak time, it was more, as I said. The trains are, of course, coming and going, but a lot has to be done imposition-wise as far as the railway stations are concerned.
Gunay, we have seen the Maharashtra government going back and forth when it comes to, the rules. In fact, for every new order, there are 3 clarifications and corrigendum that actually come in. And it's a bit of a mess.
It is quite a mess. And I've always got this perception and impression that for bureaucrats who spend 30, 35 years, drafting is a very important skill in bureaucraties. That's something they teach in the Masuri Academy when they're the first thing that is taught is drafting. Because orders have to be drafted accurately. And increasingly, I get a sense that they forget things to put. Because each time an order comes, you suddenly see a new one will have 3 more additional services. Like in the first order, they forgot petrol pumps.
Yeah.
Then somebody must have told them, sir, petrol pump to kaise chalu karega? It's not there in the order. Then in the another amendment order, I saw they added financial services and ATMs and banks because somebody forgot that as well. So it's not good communication. And I really, really seriously believe that the Maharashtra government certainly needs to step up on its communication because these are the kind of situations where effectively communicating to people is necessary. They are completely trying to deny how people are now leaving the city. The migrants are going back to their hometowns.
Yeah.
That's happening because information is not clear.
Yes.
You are changing your information every day. They're unsure about what's going to happen and they do not know the timeline of when it's going to happen. So naturally, they are going to take another chance of what happened like last year. So they're just leaving and it's not good for business.
And not just bad communication, there's also will they, won't they situation. Right?
Yes.
For 1 week, you said, oh, lockdown, hoga. Then you said, okay, we'll decide after 2 more days.
That's right.
So people are literally waiting in suspended animation about their own lives and their own future.